Okay, back from the break, and I've just talked about things like simple and compound time and all the main time signatures, right? Now we have odd time, okay? Now odd time signatures are not, as some people just think, just made up of odd numbers, right? I've seen things where, where people have written and said 3-4 is an odd time signature, simply because 3 is an odd number. No. 3-4 is simple triple time, right? What happens, a really sort of, how would I put it, a kind of a mathematical answer to what is an odd time signature is actually a time signature that's not divisible. Okay. Now, a lot of other people, I don't get into arguments about too much about 9-8, because a lot of people think 9-8 is an odd time signature. Yeah, it's 9, it's an odd number, right? But what happens is it's compound triple time. You see, you've got 3 groups of 3. 9-8 can sound just like, as I said already, like a waltz in triplets. Okay, 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a. It just so happens it's written as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you could have a Celtic slip jig, right, in 9-8, that kind of thing there. But it's, you could write it somewhere else in 3-4. And people will dance to it counting 3. Well, that's fine, you see, that's what happens. What happens with odd time signatures is the fact is that it's a little bit like you put in a little subdivision. Like the first main odd time signature is 5-4, because you've got 3 and then 2, usually. The most common one is take 5. 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, a 1, 2. There you go. If you go to European countries, you'll often be dancing in 7, whether you're going to Greece or Macedonia or, sort of thing, the Balkan area. And my little favourite, of course, is Gina Lollobrigida. Beautiful Italian actress. 7, okay? Gina Lollobrigida. So you get, I'll do it this way. Like that. It's 7, you see. That's 7-8 is how I'm playing it, like that, with a subdivision of 4 and 3. You see, so it's a bar of 4-4 and a bar of 3-4 if you want to think of it like that. Or better still, 4-8 and 3-8. I hope I'm not losing with numbers, but it's just add-ups. That's what it is. And that's how you can play in 7, sort of thing. Now, what happens then is that after that, you get your subdivisions, things like that. There's a little thing, like I get asked, having played a whole decade of Frank Zappa music, back in the day, back in the 90s with the instrumental, is that you start to learn the language of this. And what happens is that in many cases, especially when you're studying, masters like Terry Bozzio and Vinnie Colaiuta and, people like that, what goes on is that you start to read the subdivisions. And one of the little things about this, and I've done plenty of shows on this, and it's in my grade 5 drum set manual too if you want to look it up, but it's rock beat plus 1. Now if we just sort of go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, I'm treating it as a rock beat sort of thing, but I'm just counting to 4. But if I put in, say, a 3, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1. What you get there, you see, when I'm just going 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm using crotchets there, right? 2 quavers to a crotchet, so instead of 4-4, maybe I'd think about it as 8-8. This is a thing that a great, and I think a little bit looked over drummer, Bob Moses, talks about. He played with Gary Burton and people like that. He was great. Loved his playing. And he often talks about the 8-8 time signature. That's really interesting because 4-4 can be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... But what can happen is that you can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's got a different feel to it, even though it's the same amount of quavers. But you take that 8, 8, 8, and add that 3 to it, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You have 11. Do you see? So therefore you can take like 8, 8, 4, 4, rock beat, just, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then add a 5, so it's 8 and 5. You're playing in 13, 13, 8. You could add Gina Lola Brigida, the 7, okay? So you've got 8 and 7, you're playing in 15. These odd and weird time signatures are not so weird anymore, you see, especially when people from other countries dance to them, that kind of thing. So my name's Chris Quinlan, and it's all about time signatures tonight, and it's Melbourne Musos. I hope you got something out of it. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Okay.